Sara with Posh Pooch Designs, and I'm wearing my brand new sweatshirt today. Unfortunately, I ordered a too big size. It's huge, but I still love it. It says, "Life is good," and I'm sitting on a pile of yarn. I bought this sweatshirt because I thought it kind of looked like me. Because I go to the gym, I wear my hair up in a ponytail. Anyway, good morning. This is Sara with Posh Pooch Designs, and we're having our live video chat. If you're around, go ahead and clink in. Clink. Well, good morning. How's everybody doing today? We have another jam-packed, full live video full of new videos, new patterns. Good morning, Michelle. Clink. Well, we have a jam-packed video today again. We have new videos to talk about. We have new patterns. We're going to talk about granny squares and Afghan squares and just lots of fun things. And then also we have a game we're going to play. But I'll talk about that a little bit later on. I'm going to kind of do this in reverse today. I'm going to talk about our new products, our new patterns, projects, and new videos first. And then I'll talk about our content, which is granny squares and Afghan squares. And then we're going to play a game. So that way it gives everybody time to get here. And when you get here, clink in. Okay, so what's happening this week at Posh Pooch Designs? Hi, Ann. Clink. Well, have y'all tried the new color pooling? Well, you can see mine's not very even. See how that one's a little bit shorter? I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and I was just playing around, and I found a link that somebody posted, and it's actually a free pattern on Ravelry, so I downloaded it, and it helped me a lot. And there's a formula that you use. You chain out to the last color change, and then I can't remember exactly, but it has to do with you double it and then subtract or something. Anyway, it worked really well. But I think what happened is I didn't keep my gauge. See where this one got a little bit smaller, but it is really, really fun. And if you've got an extra skein of a variegated, hello, Jennifer. I'm glad you're here. If you've got an extra skein of a variegated yarn, it's a fun thing to try. And I'm going to keep trying. I think, like I said, my gauge got off a little bit on this, where this one's a little bit smaller, but it's still really pretty. And this is only about, I was going to say about half the skein, because I didn't have a whole skein left. I was just playing. So you can get, enough off one skein to make a scarf or a cowl. I just thought I'd mention that because it was a lot of fun. I did one evening this week. I had to come in and clean up my yarn room today. This is my busy time of year, and I've been making lots of dog costumes. Superman, Batman, ladybugs, bumblebees, hot dogs, lots of fun things. And some of them are just hats too. But my yarn was all pulled out because, all my colors are back there behind me. And it was all pulled out, so I had to come in really quick and stick all the ends in, and clean up the yarn room. So anyway, some of the things that were going on this week, you can see behind me, that's my African flower hexagon scarf, and it's a lot of fun. I did a video on it to show you how to make the hexagons themselves, and then how to put them together and add that fun fringe. That's one of the new things this week. Another thing that's new this week is this fun little witch's hat. And it's a little witch's hat. It'll fit like a doll. They fit the American Girl dolls. You can set them on your dog or on yourself. Just for fun. They're also great to put on those strings for decoration for Halloween. And I did this one in purple and orange and gray. You can do any colors that you want. So that's something going on this week. Another thing is I got asked to be a part of a cookie exchange blog hop, and I'm so excited about it. I wrote a pattern. It's pumpkin, peanut butter, gluten-free cookies. And I tried the pattern recipe several times, and I just couldn't get it right. So the other day, my granddaughter, who is 4, was here, and I told her, I said, we have to get this recipe right. And so we got everything out, and she said, Oma, you need to measure. And so we measured everything. Your dog's too big for costumes. Well, you can always add a little scarf or collar and put a skull or something on it just for decoration. But anyway, so we mixed 2 batches, because the neat thing about this recipe is you can make a cookie for your dog or for a person. The only difference is chocolate chips. And we used carob chips. And those you just use, and the ones for the people, because dogs really shouldn't have those. But anyway, we got them all rolled out and everything, and they're in the oven. The timer goes off, and she says, Oma, my granddaughter calls me Oma. She says, Oma, I'm so proud of you. You didn't burn the cookies. I'm terrible at baking. I have to tell you, I can cook anything, but baking, I just have a hard time. Then she said, are they ready for taste testing yet? 100. Oh, aren't those? Oh, I love those. Well, we had a neighbor that had a Great Pyrenees. Is that the ones that look like they look like polar bears? It was a beautiful dog. Tons of hair. Oh, part St. Bernard. I bet that it's a beautiful dog. Anyway, she said, Oma, I'm so proud of you. I think you've been practicing. I thought that was great. Anyway, the cookies turned out perfect that day. I must have had to have my granddaughter help me. And so, the way they're doing the cookie exchange, and it's going to start the 1st of October, and every Wednesday and Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember, a new cookie recipe will come out with a matching crochet pattern. And so I made a fun little applique dog bone, and you can make it into a Christmas ornament, or you can put it on anything. And this is the little free pattern that's going to go with that. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but I'll make a video for this. I'm not making a video of the cookies, though. I know there's a lot of really great people out there that do cooking videos. Not me. Okay, let's, the other thing I wanted to show you, let me get my friend here. In case you don't know it, this is my friend Stockinette. And she's modeling my linked up cow that we did yesterday. Now, this is a pattern that I wrote a couple of years ago. And I had a lot of questions on it because people, sometimes when you read the pattern, your brain can't wrap around it. And I had a lot of questions about linking them together and how to make it into a cow opposed to a scarf. And you can do either way. You can make it really long and make it a scarf, or you can do it a cow. So I made a video on that yesterday. So you can find that on my YouTube channel. It's not a real long video, just to explain how to do it. I don't make the whole thing, just explain how the scarf works, how the links work, and all of that stuff. Okay, now let's talk about our subject today. I got a question from a lady that was learning to crochet, and she said her grandmother taught her how to do a granny square. And so this is our basic granny square. This one is done with worsted weight yarn and a H hook, and then here's a big one I did. I think I used a K hook, and I think this is a number 5 chunky. And I did a video on this on, I think I released it yesterday. I think I did it on Sunday afternoon. But to explain how to make the classic granny square. But her question was, what's the difference between a granny square and an Afghan square? I just kind of thought they were interchangeable. I've been crocheting since I was about 14 or 15, so that's, about amount of years. And I'm not going to tell you my age. Well, I just kind of thought that a granny square and an Afghan square were interchangeable. But as I got to studying it and looking online and stuff, I realized that that's not really true. To be a true classic granny square, it has to have this particular pattern where it starts in the center and works out. You've got your corners and your chain 2 spaces and all of that. That's the classic granny square. Good morning, Melissa. Glad you're here. Glad you joined in. But any square that you make, like this is one of them that I have. It's called my Unbroken Hearts. It is not a granny square. It is an Afghan square. And the difference is any granny square is an Afghan square, but not any Afghan square is a granny square. It's kind of like Mustangs are cars, but not all cars are Mustangs. I love Mustangs. But anyway, what it is in order for it to be a true granny square, it has to look like these do. With this particular, you start in the center and you do round and round and round, or I should say squares, but they are called rounds. Good morning, Missy. Glad you're here. And in order to be called a true granny square or classic granny square, it has to be like this. But any other square that you make, for instance, like this one, my Unbroken Hearts, I just got this one as an example. It's still an Afghan square. It can be stitched together and made a blanket out of, but it's not an actual granny square. It is an Afghan square. So granny squares can be put together and made into an Afghan, and Afghan squares can be put together and made into an Afghan. So, bottom line, all granny squares are Afghan squares, but not all Afghan squares are granny squares. Good morning, Lisa, from Las Vegas. I have family in Las Vegas. My father-in-law lives there, my sister-in-law, my niece. I think 2 of my nieces are there now. I can't remember if her sister moved it back there or not. That's terrible. I need to find out. Anyway, I haven't been to Vegas in a really long time. Next time my husband goes there for work, I need to go. My favorite casino in Las Vegas was the New York. And I remember when it was first built, I just thought it was just gorgeous. I felt like I was like right in New York. So that's my favorite one. I love the piano bar. But anyway, back to our discussion. So, but if you want to learn my version of how to make a granny square, I did a video on it. Like I said, I think I released it yesterday afternoon because I had so many questions. There are tons of ways to make a granny square. Tons of techniques. Some people will start in the middle and they'll flip it every single row. Some people will do like I do and stay on the front. So there's lots of different ways. My goal in crochet, no matter what I'm doing, is to be smarter, not harder. If something is hard, I try to find a more easy way to do it. And I also try to find the more neat way. I'm not into complicated stuff. I want things to be simple. So, bottom line, like I just said earlier, all granny squares are Afghan squares. But not all Afghan squares are granny squares. But all of them can be made into an Afghan. So that's the answer to the question. What's the difference between a granny square and an Afghan square? Some people get really strong and critical about, like if I were to say my Broken Hearts square is a granny square. It doesn't matter to me. To me, they're interchangeable. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just, it can't be classified as a granny square unless it is the actual granny, classic granny square where we do it in rounds like this. It really, really, bottom line, does not matter. It's up to you what you want to call it. It's kind of, because remember, crochet is an art. And it's totally up to you how you do things. Just like weaving in ends or joining, or, we all have our own way of doing certain things. And yarn, crochet, knitting, all of those things are an art, and yarn is an art medium. And just like there's several ways of doing a granny square, do it the way that's easiest for you. Do it the way you like to do it. Are you ready for a game? All right. Now, I have reached over 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't gone over there and subscribed, do it. because I have so much more fun stuff planned. And all my live videos are on YouTube. You can find them there. And just remember, I say this many, many times. If you're looking for a YouTube channel like everybody else's, this is not it. My YouTube channel is different and weird and fun. I've been so excited because my husband, who is a wonderful musician, has written, I think, up to 6 different little ditties for me now. And I'm waiting on my Christmas one. I told him I wanted something with bells in it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's get our game going, okay? Now, the dogs are barking. My yarn order must be here. All right. I have this big pumpkin. I'm going to turn it around so you can see. And inside this great big pumpkin is a whole bunch of yarn balls. Yes, my dogs are excited. They love the mailman. And the FedEx guy, usually when I get a yarn order, it comes through FedEx. And he just stands at the door and messes with them because he likes them. It's fun. But anyway, the game is, are you ready? You have to guess how many yarn balls I stuffed inside this glass pumpkin. And you have till next week's live video chat to guess. And you can guess as many times as you want to. And every single person who guesses how many balls are in here correctly will win 5 of my paid patterns from Ravelry. So, that's why I was holding it up close. Those of you who are math wizards. And also, let me show you the bottom. I don't have a fake bottom. I have a real bottom. I don't want the lid to fall off. It's stuffed full of yarn balls. I tried to do them about the same sizes throughout, but there's some that are a little bigger and some that are a little smaller. Okay, now what I want you to do is you can guess here and you can guess on my YouTube channel of this video after I post it on YouTube also. And you will have until I will tell all the winners' names, and everybody that guesses it correctly will win 5 of my paid patterns off Ravelry of your choice. And the way I'll contact you, I'll tell the names next week on our live video chat, and then I'll also have you message me on my Posh Pooch page, and then I will send them. That way you can message me your email, and then I can send them to you through Ravelry to your email. But that's what we'll do. Let me hold this up again so you can get a good look. I guess I could have taped that lid down, huh? Here's the bottom all around. Isn't that fun? It's so exciting to go up to 1,000 subscribers to me. I started my YouTube channel, let's see, March of this year. And if you look at some of those first videos, yeah, they're not that great. And every day, every time I edit a video, I learn something new. And so hopefully they're getting better and better and funner and funner. And, you know, I'm not going to cut out when my dogs bark or when their collars shake. You know, I'm not going to be so particular that it has to be perfect, but I do want them to be fun and enjoyable. And you'll find there's a few other things on there, you know, like a day in the life of my dogs and things like that, because I want to keep it fresh and fun and kind of silly and yet informative at the same time. And that's right, Missy. I've learned as I go. There's so many things that I at the very beginning I had no idea about, like lighting or you know, outside noise, or I mean tons and tons of things. Or maybe there's some on there you don't have, Linda. She said she'd enter, but she thinks she has all of my patterns already. Well, just so that you understand, I have over 600 patterns listed on Ravelry. And actually, is it 600? 570 maybe? I don't know, I can't remember now. But a lot of them are free. And so, just so that you understand how this works. In order to pay for my web page and blog and all those things, you know, editing programs and cameras and videos and all that stuff, I sell, and also helps pay for my dog's vet bills. I sell my most of my dog sweater patterns, dog hat patterns, and some rugs and some other things that are particularly Posh Pooch design. I sell those patterns. But I love to design and write patterns, and so I try to put out as much free as I can and still bring in a little bit of money. I mean, I do a lot of custom items also that bring in money. Like I said, all the Halloween costumes and things and Christmas stuff that are great for photography and family pictures and things like that. And the truth of the matter is, one of my most favorite things to do is custom orders. I love it when someone says, can you make this, or can you make that, or here's a picture. I've had people ask me to make hats that look like their own dogs. Or I had a person ask me to make like a monster hat that I didn't have, and they sent me a picture and I made it and they loved it. So I mean, you know, that's one of my most favorite things, because I am an artist and I love to create. So anyway, this is a crazy busy time of year. From now through the end of January, actually, is my busiest time of year, and it's my funnest time because I really, really, really love it. So anyway, if you have any more questions about granny squares and Afghan squares, I'll be sure to answer that question. And if you have any questions at all, you know, like I've said previously, if you have a question, feel free to ask it. If I don't know the answer, I will find you an answer to the best of my ability, if there is an answer out there. You know, so last time I said, you want a dog hat pattern for your Chihuahua? Go to my Ravelry.com. I have about 100 of them. So anyway, if last time I said, oh, just ask any question, I'll be happy to answer it. And people start asking me my age and my weight and my shoe size. You're not getting those. So anyway, my favorite way to join Granny Squares, if you go on my YouTube channel, I have a pumpkin granny square that I made a video for table runner and placemat. And it explains my favorite way to join a granny square together. And I don't know what it's called, but it's basically you're going from corner to corner, back and forth, doing single crochets. And if you go look on there, it's the either Sweet Little Pumpkin Table Runner or Pumpkin Table Runner or Little Pumpkin Table Runner. I can't remember, but go to my YouTube channel and it'll show you exactly how I love, which is my favorite way to join granny squares. I don't really like joining them tightly, like unless I'm going to do like a blanket. I love the open weave of a granny square. That keeps wiggling. I love the open weave of a granny square, so I love doing the open. I don't know what it's called. It's just the way I do it. I don't know if there's a name. So, but I think that's all we got for now. Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, so after this is done, go ahead and guess how many you think are in that pumpkin. How many yarn balls in the pumpkin. And you can guess here, and you can guess once I get this loaded on the YouTube channel. That's fine too, because I'll be looking both places. And what I'll do is I'll just write everybody's name down who gets it correct. And then next Tuesday morning, because we do a live video chat every Tuesday morning at 9:30 Mountain Central Time, because we're in Colorado. Yeah, 9:30. The Posh Pooch joined. Yeah, it could be. I just sort of was playing around when I was doing this. I wanted something close, but something open. But anyway, I totally lost my train of thought. That tells you how old I am. No, what I was going to say is next week at 9:30, I think I said 9 o'clock. Every Tuesday at 9:30, I do a live video chat. You're welcome always to come in and chat and say whatever you want. There's just, I never ever want to talk anything political, so don't add any of that stuff. And it all has to be kind. One of my things I say all the time, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. So I'll let you go on that note, and have a great Tuesday. Thanks for chatting with me today.